Nutritional Yeast cheese sauce. I'm Morgan, I'm a registered dietitian and yoga teacher, and that is what we're going to dive into today. I like this one because it's not going to have any, cashews, it's not going to have any of the sort of nuts if you have a nut allergy, but it's still going to be nice and creamy, and so I really like to put it on potatoes, on noodles, on rice, on broccoli. I also like to dip it, so use it as dipping sauce for like tater tots or french fries, you name it, it is delicious. And it's okay to eat a lot of it, because the first ingredient we actually have is a can of white beans. So I just used the cannellini, which I can never say that word, but those white beans. I find they're a little bit softer than a garbanzo bean, and so they do blend a little bit easier when it comes to making this recipe. And then we're going to add about a half a cup of any kind of unsweetened almond milk or soy milk. Now, if you're using this more as a dipping sauce, I would go on the lighter end if you're wanting it kind of that thicker sauce. But if you're doing it more of like a cheesy sauce with the noodles, something along those lines, then go with more than half a cup. It'd be helpful if I had all my stuff out ahead, but I did not. And then because we're not using cashews, we still need something that's going to get it nice and creamy and sort of have that like buttery feel. And so this is Earth Balance, which I like to add a heaping, like 2 tablespoons of that, quite a bit of that. If you don't want it as buttery, totally don't have to use as much. And then we're going to put in some garlic powder, a few dashes of that, shake, 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 and some onion powder. Again, just a few shakes of each. The one I actually had was onion salt, and so if you have an onion salt or garlic salt and you're using it instead, I usually don't add any salt to it, but I tend to go on like a low salt sort of situation. But you may find that you need a little bit of salt, especially when you're talking about cheese. Cheesy things do tend to be pretty salty. And then we're going to put in 5 tablespoons, so this is a big spoon, this is a tablespoon, of the nutritional yeast. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. And the thing about a nutritional yeast is that it's not all fortified, most of it is, but check on the label, or if you're buying it in bulk and then putting it in your own packaging, do be sure that it is fortified with B12 if you're using it as a source of B12 and you're not supplementing, especially if you're on a vegan or predominantly plant-based diet. And then the other thing that we're going to add is about a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, and that's going to help to give it that tang that you would expect to find in a cheese sauce. Now, I will say I'm going to add a little bit more because I like my stuff tangy, but start with a teaspoon and then go up from there. So from here, we're just going to simply close the lid and blend her up. Yeast makes it a little bit kind of yellowy, but you can actually, I'm going to just give it a little try here. So it's still pretty thick, but it's tasting pretty good. Yeah. But if you like things to be a little darker and look a little bit cheesier, you can add a couple dashes of turmeric, and that will definitely brighten things up. And so keep in mind that as this sauce were to warm up, it's going to use up all of that milk, make it nice and creamy and luxurious. But as the sauce would warm up on the stovetop, it is going to kind of have more of that depth of flavor. So keep that in mind as well. this a whirl and see what it tastes like. And so that says 1, 2, 3, about 7 ingredients. So definitely super easy to do. And you can see that it's nice and creamy and luxurious. And then once it heats up, it would actually even get a little bit thinner. So perfect for again noodles. You can put it on rice, baked potatoes, broccoli. Since I'm the one eating it, I'm just gonna lick off the spoon. That's nice. Now, keep in mind that your nutritional yeast isn't going to taste just like cheese, but it does kind of give you that umami flavor. If you are cooking and you find that it's not poppy enough, add more acid, so add more apple cider vinegar. If you want more of that like salty or just more flavor, add the garlic powder, onion powder. Or if you want more of that umami depth and that savory taste, add the nutritional yeast. This is definitely one of those things that you can sort of play around with depending on your preferences to make it just the way you like it. So I'm gonna go put this over some noodles and eat some lunch, and I hope you enjoyed that. If you make it, comment below. I'd love to hear what you think, and I'll see you soon.